What up, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're doing a massive meal prep for our family of 5. I know that meal prepping sounds super daunting, especially if you have small kids. I happen to have 3 toddlers. I have a 3-year-old and then twin 2-year-olds. And I wouldn't lie and say that carving out time to do meal prep is an easy task of mine. It's very difficult to find those pockets of time, but I can tell you that I never regret it when I do. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you some of my strategies and how I plan and utilize things like the Crockpot in order to get the meal prep done as quickly as possible. I am not any type of a nutritionist or a doctor or anything like that. I'm just a mom trying to feed balanced, delicious meals to her family, and I think I accomplished it here. We have some really great options that are nutrient dense, but they're also incredibly delicious, and that's a priority for me. In order for me to make nutritious choices in a long-term strategy, I need it to taste good. So I'm just here to serve a little bit of inspiration, give you some options for ones that I know that we enjoyed, and hopefully it'll help you when you're doing your own meal planning. If you happen to be new here, hi, how are you? How's the family? Thank you so much for clicking on that thumbnail and giving me a chance. My name is Kate. On this channel, I do a lot of videos like this where I share my favorite recipes. I also share a lot of haul videos, so if you happen to want to see what's new at Costco, Trader Joe's, Sam's Club, I have plenty of that content on my channel. If you end up enjoying the vibe, I would love it if you'd subscribe before you leave. I will have all of the recipes for everything that you see in this video listed down below, but I will go ahead and do a little walkthrough on each of the recipes now. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys some items that I grabbed to accomplish this entire meal plan. I was trying to be very mindful of not having to grab anything because I want to try and cook through as much as we can in the house because I love doing shelf cooking. I love getting inventive with the things that we already have on hand, and we do a really good job at shopping wholesale clubs and getting a bulk amount of food so we can do those things. So I wanted to try and avoid the store as much as possible. But there were a couple things that when you're trying to focus on some anti-inflammatory measures, there are some things that can help you with that, and I did not have that on hand. One of them being ginger root and lemon. I saw a post online, someone was making lemon and ginger like tea every morning, and what I was thinking, and we'll see if I can pull it off, is I grabbed this silicone ice cube tray yesterday when I was at Marshall's. It was only $4.99, and my thought is I'm going to either grate or cut up the ginger and cut up the lemon and put them in these ice cube trays in my freezer. And then in the morning, I'm gonna pop out like 1 or 2 and just pour boiling water over it. That way I have it kind of prepped for myself to make it easier versus having to make a tea every single morning. So I'm gonna see how that works out, and I will give you guys the results of that when we do this video. In addition to that, I'm gonna be adding some turmeric. Is it turmeric or is it turmeric? I don't know. To that tea. I wanted to do turmeric root like this, but Kroger didn't have it. So I just grabbed this, and it looks like pretty clean. I don't think there's anything else inside it. So it was also on sale. It was kind of expensive, but I wanted to get a good quality one. So this brand I've had before and I like it. I also grabbed some strawberries so I can make some type of breakfast bowls or something. Berries of any kind are good for an anti-inflammatory diet. I buy strawberries for the kids a lot, and I never stop to like eat some myself. But one of the kids did not finish their strawberries, so I was like, oh, that looks really good. I'm just gonna finish their leftovers. If you're a parent, you get it. And they were like so good, and I was like, girl, why are you not getting yourself strawberries? Because they're delicious. So I got myself some strawberries. Definitely not anti-inflammatory. Okay, one of the things you're supposed to avoid when doing anything anti-inflammatory is processed foods, and this is definitely processed. But I am the type that's all about moderation. And so sometimes I like to do, we have like spring rolls that I've been working through forever that I bought at Costco like last year. And we ran out of sauce to dip it in. And then again, another item that's not specific to this nutrition plan, but that's fine, is I did not know that you could buy Subway sweet onion teriyaki sauce. And this is like one of my favorite sauces ever. I do need to just try and find out how to make it myself. But when I saw this, I was like, there's no way it's not coming home with me. Walnuts are supposed to be really good for you too if you're looking to do some anti-inflammatory things. So my plan is to include that in some breakfast options. So I've been craving Caprese salad, which is wild because I am not a tomatoes person, but I made Caprese skewers for a Christmas video, and ever since then I can't stop thinking about it. So I grabbed myself some basil. I grabbed myself some of these little mozzarella pearls, and I grabbed some grape tomatoes. So my plan is to probably do like a snack pack or something for myself and prep like 2 or 3 days worth with some olive oil and balsamic glaze, and it's just gonna be delicious. I also grabbed this coleslaw mix because it's cabbage, red cabbage, and carrots, and I'm gonna either make myself like a healthy slaw to go on the side of things or use it for a stir fry or something, I don't know. And then over here, I grabbed some Honeycrisp apples. I saw a reel come up where somebody was making their own apple juice, and I was fascinated. I don't think I have enough to do that because you need like a lot. You need a bulk of it to get the apple juice produced. I might end up making the kids some homemade applesauce. Did you guys ever watch the movie Baby Boom with, I think it was Diane Keaton? I used to love that movie, and I was obsessed with the thought of like moving out to Vermont and starting my own little jarring business, you know, and she made like baby sauces. But anyways, so I'm going to live out my Baby Boom life and make some applesauce or possibly just snack on that. So anyways, that's a little haul. Let's get into the actual meal prep portion of this. Okay, my friends, so my actual meal prep session is going to start in a couple hours when John gets home. But to give myself a little bit of a head start, I am going to get some chicken marinating for one recipe, and then I am going to get some other chicken in the crock pot for another recipe. We're gonna be making a butter chicken, which I made recently on this channel, and we loved it so much, but I'm changing the recipe a little bit to kind of make it more of a meal prep style and go with a little bit more high protein and stuff like that. I just like to mix stuff around. I'm using a sheep's yogurt that we got at Costco. This is vanilla flavored, but the sweetness is very light on it. And this recipe actually does well with sweetness, so I think it's perfect. So what I am gonna start with is we are going to be making a Greek yogurt. Well, it would be a Greek yogurt marinade, but I'm using sheep's yogurt for some chicken. And so I've got, hold on. It's always a gamble to do this directly over because you risk it falling out, but I think we'll be all right. This one's not too spicy, so we had a tablespoon of garam masala. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. That smells so good. I can't even tell you. It reminds me of like a curry house. And then we're gonna be doing a teaspoon of this chili powder. It's so funny because I made this recipe before and John really liked it, but he didn't like it as much as the one our neighbor made us. And when I got his recipe, I think I had done like 2 teaspoons of garam masala throughout the entire thing, and he did like 4 tablespoons. And then he did like 4 tablespoons of this chili powder or something too, which is way too much for me. I'm a wuss. But what John will do is add more of this to his, so that way he gets the spice because he liked it that spicy. But I'm more on like the mild to medium side, so I'm sticking with this. And then we have a teaspoon, whoops, of white pepper. And if I have extra of that, that's not too spicy, so we'll be okay. So that's all gonna get mixed up. And to be honest with you guys, this blend right here is so good that if you just wanted to do like chicken kebabs or something and marinate your chicken in this and then dice it up for kebabs, it would be so good. I'm not even kidding. I just am obsessed right now with the butter chicken sauce. We're just gonna ride that until we get sick of it, apparently. I haven't found a food that has impressed me as much as this butter chicken has in a while. Okay, so now that we got that stirred up, what I'm going to do is dice up some chicken for myself. I'm also gonna get myself a bowl. This is one thing I love to do when I'm meal prepping, is have a bowl to throw things away. What's insane is we've been defrosting this for 2 days and it's still pretty frozen. I think it's because we kept it on the top shelf, and I've noticed that the top shelf is very cold in our fridge. Okay, so I'm just gonna like not even do a great job at it. I'm just gonna chunk up the chicken tenderloin. I have a question. When you guys are cooking chicken tenderloin and stuff, do you cut off all of like those white pieces? I just eat around it. Am I supposed to cut it off? Because I see people cutting it off and I just wonder if that's just like a preference because they don't want to deal with it when they're eating it. I don't know. What do you guys do? That's just a lot of work. But if I'm supposed to do it, then I will, I guess. When it's easy like that, I'll do it. And I know some people grab like a fork or something and pull it off, but I tried to do that the other day and it just was like a mess and I felt like I wasted a bunch of chicken. You guys gotta tell your friend Kate what to do. Whoops, I didn't cut that up. Okay, I'm gonna go wash my phalanges and get myself a new spoon. So I'm just gonna go ahead and toss this all together, let this marinate, and then this will go chill in my fridge for probably about an hour while I get some other stuff done. And then we will come back to it. It'll end up going back in a crock pot. Just make sure that's like really well coated. Looking great. We shall move on. All right, so as you guys saw, I prepped myself some bell peppers that I'm gonna be using for snack packs. I said bell peppers, weird. Bell peppers. I also kept the bottoms for this enchilada sauce that we're about to whip up. And then I got some, what else did I do? Oh, I got some onion diced up as well. And then I'm gonna just use this chopper to get the onion and the bell pepper even more fine, and we're gonna make a enchilada sauce in the blender. Okay, look how nice and easy that was. Now, one thing I'm gonna say is that bell peppers are generally not in enchilada sauce as far as I've seen, but I do what I want over here, so I'm gonna be adding them into ours. Okay, what we're gonna start with is I'm gonna dump in like half of these. I don't think I need the whole amount because we're not making that much enchilada sauce, and then I'll save this for other cooking for myself. Okay, and then I have probably about 3 cloves of minced garlic I'm gonna get in there. And then I'm also gonna get a cup of chicken broth. I use the better than bouillon and mix it into water. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this up. Okay, so now that we've kind of blended those vegetables down, I'm gonna just be dumping in the rest of the content. I have an 8-ounce can of fire roasted tomatoes, diced tomatoes, but you could use anything that you want. Regular diced tomatoes. You could even use a can of Rotel. I have a can of tomato sauce going in, and then I have a can of tomato paste going in. Okay, so now it's just a matter of seasoning this, and I'm pretty much gonna be eyeballing it. I'll give measurements down in the description box below. We're gonna do about a teaspoon of smoked paprika. We're gonna do about 2 tablespoons of chili powder. And if you have like an ancho chili powder, I think honestly that would be the best, but I've just got like a Costco one that apparently does not wanna open. All right, so we got 2 tablespoons of chili powder going in there. So that's 1, 2, I've got a teaspoon of cumin, do about a teaspoon of oregano, just dried oregano. I'm also gonna go in with just a couple shakes of cayenne. We like it spicy. Well, I should say John likes it spicy. I can handle spice. I don't know if I'd go as far to say as I like it. And then this is gonna sound weird, but we're gonna do a half a teaspoon of cinnamon and then just a touch of salt. We'll taste this later for salt if it needs to get added a little bit. We're also gonna do about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Just gonna do a touch. You could also do lime juice if you wanted to, I just don't have that. We're gonna do a tablespoon of honey. And this is gonna sound a little crazy, but everything I said online said this makes a difference. So we're gonna do a teaspoon of cocoa powder. And I have this really good quality Ghirardelli one. That looks good. And then we are just gonna blend this bad boy up. Get it in the crock pot with the chicken. Okay. I am gonna go ahead and taste this. That is actually like really good. Wow, that is delicious. I think what I'll do is once I pour it in, I'll just mix some salt in. But other than that, that is delicious. I think I'm gonna have a lot of extra too. So I'm just gonna go like this because we're gonna be making enchiladas with it. So we'll have some extra sauce to top those with. But I want the chicken to cook in the sauce too. So I have a packet of tenderloin. I wanna say these are like a 1 or 2 pound package of tenderloin. And I'd say I poured in like maybe a cup and a half. I'm gonna cook it on, what time is it? I'm gonna cook it on high because I'll need it in a couple hours. and that should cook pretty fast since it's tenderloin. So that'll be waiting for me in a little bit. I'm just gonna get this packaged up in a jar for myself. So I have these awesome jars that I actually bought for like overnight oats, but they're like way too large, but they've worked out perfect for situations like this. I also store produce in it sometimes, but I think these are about 12-ounce jars. So I got two 12-ounce jars in addition to the amount that I used for that chicken. So that was a nice output for a quick blender situation. Alrighty, so at this point, the kids had woken up and brought their volume with them. So I'm gonna move into voiceover mode for a little bit. One of my meal prep strategies is to try and use things as I have it out. So since I already had the blender out because of the enchilada sauce, I decided I would go ahead and blend up the butter chicken sauce. That way I could get that recipe going in the other hot tub. So in the blender, I added a cup of chicken stock, 1 onion that I had diced into chunks, 3 cloves of garlic, a teaspoon of ginger paste, and a tablespoon of honey. And then what I did was I just blended that together since I wanted to get those onions diced up. And then I added in a 28-ounce can of San Marzano peeled tomatoes. I did a can of diced tomatoes and a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. But you can kind of just use whatever you have on hand for tomatoes. If you want to use fresh tomatoes, tomato sauce. It's just the idea on this one is to do a lot of tomatoes. I then added in a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of ground turmeric, a half a teaspoon of ground cumin, and then probably half a teaspoon or a teaspoon of salt. And then from earlier when we made the marinade, we have some remaining spices. So we are going in with half a tablespoon of garam masala, half a teaspoon of kashmiri chili powder, and half a teaspoon of white pepper. I blended that all together, and then I put the marinated chicken that we had made earlier together into the crock pot. I poured some garbanzo beans right on top that I had rinsed, and then I added probably 2 to 3 cups of that butter chicken sauce right into the crock pot, stirred everything all together to make sure everything was coated in the sauce, and then I placed about 4 tablespoons of butter as pads throughout this entire thing. I covered that and cooked it on high for about 3 hours, but you could do low for 6 to 7. You basically just want the chicken to get tender. There is one final step at the end of this to add some, I think they're called fenugreek leaves, so we'll check back in on this later, but we got that going. We did end up having a lot of extra sauce, so I stored some on the side because I end up having to add some sauce to the completed dish later once we add in some broccoli to the party. But I ended up with extra sauce even above what I needed for this recipe, which is awesome because if I kind of want to make a simple, fast version of this, I'm going to have the sauce already on the side for myself. And I'm thinking of getting this in the freezer. That way I can use it in the future. So I think this ended up working out great. Next, one of the things that I was most excited for was to make some ice cubes for myself that are supposed to help boost immunity, according to the internets. So first I started just by peeling up and chopping up 3 fresh ginger roots, and then I added those to my food processor with half a teaspoon of ground turmeric, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, about 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper, and the juice of 2 lemons. I went ahead and pulsed that in the food processor until it made a paste. All right, you guys, so you saw me mix up my little concoction that admittedly doesn't look so great. We are going to get it into this little container here. So I'm just gonna start off with like a spoonful in each. And then I'm going to just run the juice throughout there. That ginger was a lot of work to peel, so I'm not trying to waste any effort there. Okay. So now that we have those in there, what we're gonna do is just work in these little lemon pieces, in some cases big lemon pieces. And I'm gonna save these 2 little pieces to make myself some lemon water right now. I'm gonna grab some water to fill this all the way up. I'm just gonna use this so we get literally every last drop. We'll pour some water over this and then I will freeze it. And then what will happen is in the mornings, I can pop out one of these little ice cubes into a glass and then just pour some boiling water over it. I can either have it as a hot tea or let it cool down to room temperature and drink it like an iced tea. And it's supposed to be a good immunity boost. So we will see how that goes. All right, now I want to move on to a little caprese salad situation. And I'm going to be using an 8-ounce package of mozzarella pearls. I did my nails, you guys, last night, and I've already lost one. I've lost it like 17 times today. Like, it keeps popping off because I bite my nails, which is awful, I know. Which is why I'm putting on these press-on nails to stop myself from biting my nails. And so they don't have like a lot of surface to hold on to, but you would think the thumb would be the one to hold on because it has the most surface. But no, it fell off like 17 times today. Well, we're doing so good. As always, I know you guys come here for the aesthetics. You come here for somebody who absolutely has her life together. Just kidding. Wow. Killing it. Look at how effortless. Look at how effortless. I give up. I give up. Look at how effortlessly I do everything in life, you know? All right, we're gonna chop off a little bit of basil here. I don't know how much. I don't wanna go too crazy because I feel like John is not like the biggest into herbs. So I'm probably just gonna take like 2 of these and get the leaves off for myself. I just did like a rough chop of it. And then I have a whole package of, these were those cherub tomatoes. I'm gonna slice them lengthwise. So then that way the marinade can like kind of really get in there. I just dropped a memory card. We're just thriving in life. I just love the colors of a caprese salad. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I just think they're beautiful, and I am not like that big of a tomato person, but when you dress up a tomato, I am a big tomato person. So like I love salsa. I really do like marinara most of the time, but I have to be like in the mood for it. I'm more of an Alfredo person than I am marinara. I've just been like craving this, and I was thinking it would be like a really fun snack, you know, to mix things up. I want to say it was like an 8-ounce package of cherry tomatoes. You saw it in the beginning. Okay. It's just funny how your taste buds change over time, because this is something I would have never wanted to have before. And here I am, loving it. I want to be kind of dramatic and use a little bit of my like really good sea salt. This is a Hawaiian sea salt company, and it's like actually made in Hawaii, so I'm just gonna do a little because this is kind of strong. I probably did like, I don't know, 1/4 of a teaspoon, if that. Then I am gonna do regular sea salt. We're gonna do some black pepper. Okay, now we're gonna do some olive oil. Maybe like a tablespoon. I also have some of this seasoning from Trader Joe's. It's kind of like a zesty Italian seasoning. And then the most important part is the balsamic vinegar glaze. I got this one at Aldi, but I know Kroger sells it, so I'm pretty sure it's something that's sold at a lot of stores, and you can also get it at Trader Joe's. I know they have some. Okay, and then I'm just gonna toss this all together, and then I'm just gonna pop this in the fridge for while I'm doing everything else, and this will be one of the last things that I package up. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to prepping some sweet potatoes, because these are easy to just get in the hot tub over here. John was kind enough to peel me some sweet potatoes earlier. I am 100% using a fish knife right now to cut this, because all of our what are those things called? Knives are in. I just broke another now. We're doing so good. This is gonna be the most chaotic video I have ever produced. Anyways, all of our knives are currently being washed, so we're literally using a fish knife to cut sweet potatoes. John has come to save the day, so I cannot be an absolute train wreck. Follow me for more tips on how to thrive at life. If you haven't subscribed already, do it now, man. Okay, so I put that on cook. We're gonna let that steam, and then I'm gonna go ahead and dice up some butternut squash, and I'm gonna steam that on my stove. All right, next up we're gonna make like a little blueberry sauce. I have some fresh blueberries and some frozen blueberries, so I'm gonna make use of both of them. I'd say I have about 2 cups of blueberries altogether. We're gonna do like 1.5 tablespoons, maybe 2 tablespoons of an organic maple syrup. This one I got at Sam's Club. The only ingredient is organic maple syrup. I like the Costco one a lot too. I haven't really paid attention to how I feel about this one, to be honest. We're also gonna put in a little bit of vanilla extract. I'd say, I don't know, like 1/2 teaspoon. Put a little splash in there. And then I'm also gonna put in a little bit of cinnamon, maybe 1/2 teaspoon's worth. I'm gonna grab myself my little meat masher, because once we get to the point where the blueberries start to kind of burst open, I'm gonna use this to kind of break them up a little bit. You could also blend it if you want it to be more of a smooth sauce. But for me, I think I'm gonna want it to be kind of chunky because it's gonna be going on like a breakfast bowl, and I think that'll be cool. So we're just gonna let this cook probably like 5 or 6 minutes, just until the blueberries get to a point where they're about to burst. And then I will chop them up a little bit, make them chunky, and we will store it, and then I will add it to my bowls later. This would also be good if you wanted to do like pancakes in the morning. Like if you made some like ricotta lemon pancakes and then poured this blueberry sauce over it, I bet that would be a vibe. I just want to point out too that a lot of people add water when they make stuff like this, but if you're using the frozen like I did, it has all that like ice crystallized on it, so the water is going to come out of there. If you use fresh, I would start with not adding water, especially if you want it to be on the thicker side. And then you can always add a little bit, but I would just do like 1 tablespoon at a time, because if you give it a little while, I haven't added any water to this and you can see exactly how liquidy it is. Okay, so I reduced the heat down a little bit, and I'm gonna just start encouraging them to burst up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and turn the heat off, and I'm gonna let this just sit on the stove with the residual heat and let it thicken a little bit, and then this is good to go. Okay. So here is the final product on this blueberry sauce, compote, whatever you want to call it. I'm just gonna store it in this guy now that it's cooled off a little, and keep it in the fridge until I'm ready to put it on the top of my breakfast bowl concoction thing that we're doing.
I lose my breath whenever I see you. Stole my heart, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon needs the sun, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire. I don't know what I'd do without you. You make me smile, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon is the sun, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire.
All right, so this chicken is done. I'm gonna kick it down to warm, and then I'm just gonna use some KitchenAid, a KitchenAid hand mixer, and very slowly shred that chicken. I don't ever like it to be too shredded, so I just go very light. So we will get this in the enchiladas. It's a team effort over here when it comes to meal prep. So John stepped in to assemble the enchiladas for us. So for these, we kind of combined burrito with enchilada. He laid down 6 flour tortillas, filled them up with some chicken. He was pretty generous with that chicken. And then he layered in some beans and corn. He ended up being able to fit 6 of this. If I had filled them, I probably would have done a little less chicken, but we're not going to judge. Okay, John can do what he wants to do. The man likes chicken, so he put a lot of chicken in there. Anyways, he fit about 6. I'd say you could go anywhere from 6 to 8, depending on how full you make those enchiladas. Laid them down. He poured that enchilada sauce over it, probably I'd say 2 cups of it, the one we made earlier together, and then he sprinkled it with some shredded cheese, but you could always skip that step if you're not into dairy. These baked in a preheated oven for about 25 minutes, and I think we did it at 375 degrees. These were perfect because of the fact that he had filled it up so much. We ended up only needing 1 each, so they ended up making 6 meals for us, which was great. All right, the butter chicken is all set. It looks really good. John is gonna be so excited. All right, so I'm just gonna mix in some of these fenugreek leaves now. Try like the equivalent of a tablespoon, I'd say. Wow, this looks amazing. Okay, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and cut some broccoli right in here. I'd say I'll probably end up doing, I don't know, like a cup or 2, just to get some extra nutrients. Why not? If it's mixed in, I feel like it's not as noticeable. We like broccoli though, so it won't be a problem. And then I'm just gonna keep this on low and let it cook probably, I don't know, another half hour or so, and then check it. And then I'm gonna show you what we are going to serve them with. Okay, and then this is what we're gonna be serving it with. So I usually split this into 2 servings. So there will be a pack going with John to work because he can just heat this up at work in the microwave. And then I'll have the other pack obviously at home. And we'll just have a serving of this in meal prep containers and then just mix this right into it for a full meal. So after I got some prep done for some fresh fruit, John stepped back in and did some ground turkey meatballs and patties for the kids. We do so many versions of this. The recipe will be down below, but for this one, he combined 2 pounds of ground turkey with 4 cloves of garlic, a cup of ricotta cheese, and for the vegetables this time, we did a cup of steamed broccoli and a cup of steamed cauliflower that he mashed together using a food processor. In the past, I've done butternut squash, I've done spinach, I've done zucchini, so you can kind of use whatever your favorite vegetable is or whatever you have on hand. We also add about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, a cup of breadcrumbs, an egg, and 2 teaspoons-ish of Italian seasoning. Those get formed into meatballs or patties, or in our case, we're doing both, and they get cooked for 18 minutes at 375 degrees. You just want to make sure, obviously, they're cooked all the way through. We love to have these on hand to just give our kids with some extra veggies and pasta on the side, or even for us to toss on salads or in wraps for a fast lunch or snack. Okay, my friends, this is one of the ones that I'm the most excited for. So we're gonna be making a sweet breakfast that is not overnight oats, that is not protein pancakes. It is something completely different. I haven't really seen a lot of people make it. I'm gonna link the channel that I saw a version of it on, and I ended up kind of taking a lot of liberty with it. But I'm gonna squeeze in, I have about 2 cups of sweet potatoes here. I'm gonna squeeze in about a teaspoon of ginger paste. If you know me, I never measure anything. I'm also gonna go in with a little bit of turmeric, probably the equivalent of maybe half a teaspoon. And then this is gonna sound weird, but black pepper apparently activates turmeric. So we're gonna do just a little bit of black pepper. And then I'm also gonna go in with probably about a teaspoon of cinnamon. I love cinnamon. Okay, and then I'm gonna drop in about a teaspoon of some organic maple syrup. I just got this one at Sam's Club. It's pure maple syrup. I'm gonna do about a half a cup of unsweetened almond milk. And I'll keep that on the side for myself because I might end up using it to thin it out a little bit more, we'll see. I'm also gonna be doing some hemp hearts in here, doing about 2 tablespoons. I also have 2 teaspoons of melted coconut oil. And I'm just gonna use a hand mixer to blend that up, kind of like mashed potatoes. Now, I'm gonna keep the texture on this pretty rustic. You could continue adding more almond milk and smooth this out if you want, but I kind of want to feel the heartiness of this one. So I'm gonna keep it just as is, but feel free to blend that up if you like a more mashed sweet potato style.
Look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, it will all seem better outside.
Okay, you guys, so those are done. So we have the sweet potato base, we have some blueberries, walnuts, coconut flakes, and chia seeds. In order to make this an actual balanced breakfast, because there isn't as much protein in this as I personally would like, I will be serving it alongside some sheep yogurt. I'm just gonna do about a half cup of the sheep yogurt with this, and then I'll probably do like a serving of collagen in water or something like that at some point to balance this out a little bit more. But overall, I just think this is a really cool way to mix up breakfast and get something a little bit different, because I think we're all sick of always seeing like overnight oats and protein pancakes being the only option for a more sweet side type breakfast. You know, so in case you want to mix it up, I just think these are going to be so delicious. You could also, if you want to bulk this up anyway, you could add some granola to it, whatever you want. You know, you could serve it with egg whites on the side, whatever. I just think it's a cool option, and I cannot stress how delicious that blueberry compote is. I actually have some left, and I think I'm gonna make myself like a cool latte or something with it because it's just so good. So anyways, all right, my friends, here is everything that we meal prep to set us up for success for our family of 5. I have a lot of fresh fruits prepped. We've got dragon fruit, pineapple, strawberry. You can tell we've already been dipping into it over here. Breakfast options, we have sweet potato bowls with the blueberry compote, walnuts, coconut flakes, and chia seeds. That'll be served with a couple other items to make it a complete breakfast. I have snack packs for myself, so we've got some cottage cheese, almond flour crackers, Kalamata olives, bell peppers, and Caprese salad mix, which I have some extra on the side. And then I also had some extra bell peppers that I have prepped for myself for quick snacking and cooking. I also have a huge batch of marinara sauce, which is perfect to mix in with pasta or whatever. It's veggie packed, lots of hidden vegetables in there, perfect for kids that you need to trick into having nutrition, you know? Over here I have some butternut squash. The goal with this was I was hoping to make some tuna patties for us with the butternut squash mixed in, but I didn't get around to that, but that's okay. I also have some pineapple and dragon fruit cut up. I've got one remaining chicken enchilada in the back. We have already eaten through those, so that is the one bird that remains, but she's there to represent for the meal prep effort. We also have some turkey patties and turkey meatballs for the kiddos. We've got that caprese salad I talked about. And then of course we have the butter chicken, which has garbanzo beans and broccoli, and we will serve it alongside some brown rice and quinoa. So overall, I'm so impressed with this spread and so happy we did this. All right, you guys, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. It means the absolute world to me. If you have a creative meal that you like to turn to for meal prep or even just for dinner ideas, please leave it in the comment section below. Not only does it help me, but other people can look at the comments as well to get some inspiration. I hope I delivered whatever you needed when you clicked on that thumbnail, and I hope you have a magical day. Bye.